Good afternoon. My name is Peter van Kenel, and I would like to speak about making emotions digital. We would like to propose a system to control the behavior of non-player characters in computer games, which is modeled after how the human brain works. The software originated at the Department of Theoretical Psychology at the University of Bamberg, where it was developed to find out how humans think. We identified some essential human needs which are easy to recognize. That's hunger, thirst, physical integrity, affiliation, that is the desire or the need for group binding. We don't want to be alone. Competence, that's the need for predictability. That's an A too much. We want to know what will be next. I want to know that the presentation will go on. Certainty, that's the need for mastery. I want to be sure that the computer works while I'm standing here. And last not least, sex. While sex we are not considering because it has some difficult implications in reality and in the simulation. All human behavior can be based on these human needs, and they are called motives in psychology. These motives lead to emotions. The emotions we can have is pain, activation, surprise, anger, happiness, fear, sadness, helplessness, and everything else we know of emotions. So with the initial motives, they are the reason for our emotions. And the emotions modulate how we behave, how we operate, how we think. And this is the theory, the basis of our modulation, of our simulation, and it was tested against humans. And we found out that it's quite similar. It's a model, so it's not reality, but it's very similar to how people behave. The system and the human brain works like a box with external sensors and internal sensors. External sensors is vision, hearing, smelling, feeling, touching, temperature, and everything else we can feel. And internal sensors, hunger, thirst, whatever we have a need for. And from that comes how we behave, how we move, that we eat and drink. We have desire to eat and drink and manipulate things with our hands. You can think of the sensors as tanks or containers in the body that have to have a certain comfortable range. They have to have a set point. They have a set point, and you try to keep them in the comfortable range. When they are out of the comfortable range, that is, we feel hunger because of a loss of a lack of sugar in the blood, or because of a lack of sleep, the sensors tell us they are out of range and do something. We have an emotion, we become hungry, we become sleepy. And then the system, the brain, identifies a goal. What do we have to do? Because we are hungry. The goal may be to go to the next bakery and eat something, to go to sleep, to go to the bathroom, whatever the need is. The system, as well as our brain, builds a plan. So the plan is to, where's the bakery, ask, and then make a plan to go there. And then we execute the plan. If we pass the beer booth down on the meadow, then maybe we drink something before. So we change our plan because we think that before we eat, maybe we need to drink something. So at any time we may have to, and we can change our execution plan. And then finally we compare target and actual values. When we have eaten the roll, is that enough? Are we hungry anymore or not? Do we have eaten enough? Did we drink enough? So at any time we can change our plan or build a new plan. This is what goes on constantly in our brain. And we also define sub-goals. Maybe it's necessary to open the door, to go a detour to the bakery, Maybe there's no bakery, we have to change our mind and go to something else. And everything we do is recorded. We have a short-term brain, which is not really short-term brain. It's short-term in the sense that we lose things, but everything is memorized. So both the sensor values, like hunger, sleepiness, and actions are recorded in memory. And after a while, we forget. You see the last memories, they are not connected anymore. They are still in the brain, but they are not connected anymore. So we collect our experience all the time. And we learn from experience, from good experience and bad experience. We find that by going to the bakery and eating something, our hunger goes away. So this was a good experience. We learn that going to the bakery makes the bad feeling of hunger go away. And next time we are hungry again, we go to the bakery again. Maybe the bakery is closed because tomorrow is Sunday. So next time we have to think that we cannot go there. This is a bad experience and we learn again. This is how the learning process goes. So this was the theory. Let's go to practice. Here we have the simulation of one being. You have a map, which is an island, and on the island you see the robot, which is our being. Here you see a face, a simulated face, very simple, only to show the emotions. Now our being, our robot, lives on the island and has needs like humans have. Now I start this. The first picture shows the situation. What does the robot see? You see the points here, the marked points. This is what the robot sees at this instant. And that's the situation, the current scenery. From the situation, it actually does visual processing. What does it see there? It sees a pond, it sees trees, bushes. So that's the scenery, and it from the needs, it decides what to do. Like drink water, eat something, take stones, collect something, eat hazelnuts, and so on, to fulfill its needs. And the robot lives on the island, explores the island, and tries to survive on the island. The left graph shows our motives. The motives we have, I show just the ones that we're interested in. So the first line, the yellow line, is the one for hunger. So when we are hungry, we try to eat something. Then we have another one for thirst. When the system is thirsty, you see the line going up slowly. Eventually it will be very thirsty and it has to drink something. Then Schaden is damage. When something is damaged, when we hit a rock or were thumped by a thorn. Then Bestimmtheit is certainty. Are we sure that we know what we do? Is it certain that we're doing the right thing? And competence, are we able to do what we are doing? These motives lead to the emotions, which are in the second graph. We can feel Schmerz, pain, Aktivierung is activation, surprise, anger, happiness, fear, sadness, and helplessness. And these emotions modulate our behavior. And here we have some the modulation is mostly affects how the brain works. So like arousal, the resolution level is how far it looks ahead in planning. Select threshold is when looking for patterns in the past in the memory. So the robot tries to live on the island. Here we see the face to have an idea of of the emotions it feels. So this is the simulation of a single being, and we compared the emotion engine, the artificial emotion engine, with students who were set in front of the robot to control it and work similar like the being, with feeling hunger, thirst, and so on, and they had to survive on the island, and they had quite similar experience as the simulation. Now to something different. We go to a simulation with several beings. We have a similar island now, and we have some mice here. And we started. You see the mice crawling. And now we have social behavior as well. They don't only need to survive. You find areas in violet, which is pain. Magenta, this more magenta is pain. Light blue are healing swarms. Dark blue is water, so they can drink there. Green areas are areas where they can satisfy their hunger. And they can bite and hurt each other. Now we can look at individual ones. We collect one, and we see the white one is our current mouse, how it behaves. And also hear the noises when it eats something, when it gets hurt, when it gets bitten by some other mouse, when it drinks something. And here in the graphs we see the feelings that it experiences and how it behaves. Hunger, thirst, pain, crying for help. And then we can show friend and find relationships. Enemies are red and friends are blue. So the bluer another mouse is, the more it is a friend, and the red it's an enemy. When the simulation runs for 1 or 2 hours, we have about 200 mice. And depending on how the settings of temper and other psychological factors, we can end up with gang wars where mice group and fight each other. And they also multiply asexual, so they don't need two to multiply, but by accident, occasionally they get children, and then this is how the population grows. Also, they inherit genomes from their parents, from the parent, one parent only. So if you have questions, please ask.
Micro. I can understand from the motives you showed why mice would like to have friends or form groups in a positive form, but from what motive are they driven that they have enemies? Because I cannot relate that to any emotion or motive you were showing.
It may have an advantage if I don't want to say something false. It may have a competitive advantage by having others, by taking something away from others. No, this is not right. Better don't answer it. I'm not quite sure.
Thanks anyway.
So I think you said that each mouse has from its birth on a certain character.
Yes.
So they don't behave the same way every
Exactly.
mouse. So what kind of character parameters can a mouse or can a human character have then?
In the simulation, we have quite a lot of characters. We'd have to go into the program to show exactly which parameters. But it's a very large number of parameters that can be adjusted. It would be, I cannot tell them you right now here because it's too much that can be set. But it's a large number. Are there any other questions? Yeah.
Like I understood, there are characters, right? They have all their needs and behaviors.
Yes.
It is for video games.
Pardon?
It is for video and computer games.
Yes.
Mostly.
Yes.
And how does it work with, say, like psychotic characters? You know, when some needs are extremely high or extremely low, like being with someone or being together, not to be alone. And if there's a character who wants to be alone, know what I mean?
According to the theory, men in general don't want to be alone.
Okay.
Maybe at times they want to be alone because other motives are larger.
Yeah.
But generally, men don't want to be alone. That's not to say that all people are alike. In some cases, the desire to be with others is larger than in others. So some people, from their character, don't have the need as much to be together with others, and some have it more.
Okay, so then the value is just low.
That's right.
Okay.
Right. That's according to the theory.
All
right. How does the brain work of the mice? Like, do you have a set of rules that
No,
are
it's
plausible?
a special neural network, and that's how it's organized. Like I said in the introduction, you can think of like tanks of the motives. They are like a tank full of a liquid, and when the liquid goes below a certain set point, then a need arises, a motive is created for hunger, thirst, and whatever, and then this leads to a goal eventually, and the goal, from the goal it tries to create a plan, an execution plan, a plan to go, how do we satisfy the motive, and then the plan is executed. There's a very good book from Professor Dörner who developed this. It's called, in German it's called Bauplan für eine Seele, Blueprint for a Soul, where he explains very exactly how he thinks it works. And it's the basic, very easy to understand, the theory behind this.
Well, I'm slightly bit confused because I kind of expected some talk more in the direction like how those simulated emotions would support a kind of learning process, and you didn't say very much about that really. I expected you tell something about reinforcement learning and how for example those emotions can help to more efficiently adapt to the environment or something like that, but I've been missing that.
No, I didn't intend that. I wanted to show the emotions and how the emotions work, and learning is a special field, and that was not the idea. I'm sorry if there was a misunderstanding.
Okay.
Was it just developed for games, or maybe?
No, it was really developed to simulate human at the university.
Yeah, okay.
And we want to build it as an emotion engine to be put into computer games, because we feel that computer games are a perfect application for this.
Could it be like a simulation, or to train to how to behave in certain before people have difficulties with that?
No,
Okay.
no. It tries to simulate, to emulate the human. Tries to be a real human, and an application is a computer game. And even maybe for serious games like simulations of, imagine the group here and the fire breaks out. What are we doing? How is the group of people behaving? So we'd have not mice, but we have people, not an island, but a room, or the room can be a building. And then we have an unusual experience, and unusual something happens, fire, whatever. How do the people behave? And that would be an application for it. And computer games, of course, non-player characters. If you have a monster that behaves like this, it keeps on learning, we think that this would be a good application for it. It learns everything that it experiences. Everything it experiences, feeling hungry, feeling thirsty, is memorized, and that's how it learns. And by repeating the experience, the good experience, the bad experience, everything stays in there, and everything that is not memorized by the time gets lost. So we forget everything by the time, unless it is reinforced by repeated experience. That's why we have to read things over and over to memorize them, otherwise we would forget it. And by the time we forget even more and more, and only things that have a strong impact or that is repeated, that remains in memory. That's how the learning process functions in the brain.
If you run the simulation long enough, do you get some kind of individuals, or extremely friendly individuals, or angry, aggressively, or individuals who are searching other individuals where the need is extremely high?
Where the need
is extremely high. Do you get individuals?
No, we have individuals from birth.
Yeah.
When the creature is created here, it is an individual, because everyone is different already when it's created. A lot of values are random based.
Right.
So they are individuals already. They are not alike. All the mice here, they are all different.
Okay.
So they are individuals right from the start.
Yeah, I guess that, but like I'm seeing there, they are all behaving like the same, just slightly different. And
that's because the environment is quite restricted.
Right.
The operators, all it can do is move, eat, drink, and bite other mice. That's all it can do.
Okay.
So if you give it more opportunities to do things, play on the computer, hear music, whatever, make love and so on, then you have more options, obviously.
Okay.
And the character becomes more interesting, but then the simulation becomes more difficult, of course.
Is the source code available for the software?
The academic software is available, of course, from the university.
Okay, just executables, or the software itself, like the
software is available from the university, yes.
Yeah.
And that's exactly the simulation you see here, and we try to continue development, and then if you are interested, then just let's talk what we can work out. But from the university, it's free anyway. So it's documentation, the books from Professor Dörner, they are all available. The books are more valuable even than the source code, because that's explained. The source code is quite difficult to read. And it works, as you can see here. Okay. Thank you very much.